and innovating, comes up with a great idea, and little known to them, somebody's filed a patent on this thing and just wait until their company is actually taking root and beginning to succeed, and then hits them with a lawsuit and takes and dashes their plans into the courtroom. Is that a serious problem for venture capitalists and angel investors when they're investing in something that, unless they go through and check everything and determine that this thing is safe to proceed in, that their capital and everything is at risk, and conceivably, regardless of the validity of the idea and the company that starts up, they can find themselves having to defend that in a court of law?
So I'll take a quick crack at it. Maybe you got a thought on it too. What is a patent troll? A patent troll is a nasty name for someone who is an inventor who comes up with a raft of patents and sits quietly under the bridge, or worse, goes out and buys a whole bunch of patents, doesn't actually use them to produce anything meaningful for society, but they sit under the bridge and they wait for the goat to come over, and then they come over the bridge and they eat them. That's why they call them trolls. My perspective, which may be somewhat naive, is that when I was at Technicolor as a lawyer for their DVD division, we would be suing other people and they would be suing us all the time over patents. And the idea was that Fujitsu had a bunch of stuff on DVD patents, we had a bunch, and we were going to wave swords at each other and then agree to just cross-license stuff. And it was a big haggling session. However, there were people like the Lemelson Foundation, the guy was a brilliant inventor, and he came up with the barcode. And sure enough, he sat on it and waited for a whole bunch of people to adopt it. And then he called our mothership, RCA, and said, "You've been using these barcodes. Here's a bill for $1 billion." He said, "Oh my God." So that would be a classic example of that. Generally, a patent troll isn't going to come a-hunting for your undercapitalized startup. He's going to come a-hunting for the billion-dollar company that's one of the Global 2000. If you're the VC that invests in Nest, then I think you're keenly interested in knowing what kind of patent protection they're going to put around it before you put a large sum of money into it. But to throw a $500K flyer on the guy to let him do his MVP, minimum viable product, I think you're going to take that bet, understanding there's the risk. But Google isn't going to buy the thing unless everything is completely bolted down. So I don't want to minimize it too much, but I don't think the seed stage, early stage VCs worry about it. The later stage guys do.
And I'll just add one thing to that. The LA Chamber, we're going to be, every year we take a trip back to Washington, D.C. We take about 250 business leaders from Los Angeles to meet with our senators, congressmen, and members of the administration. Part of our trip this year in March, is we're going to have a small group of folks from the technology community, and one of our issues is going to be talking to our legislators about patent trolling.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your doing that and hope you a lot of success. You might stop by the NRA in case they have a suggestion how you can solve the problem otherwise. I have another name for them, but I can't use it in front of this audience.
Okay, we have time for another question.
Thank you. Caitlin Vanover. I am a health